What is up, everyone? It is the Mad King Paradox here, bringing you a theory discussion I was thinking about just earlier today about the latest Pokemon that's come out in the Coral Curl Scan Leaks, which we now have an English name for. I'm gonna pronounce it Magearna, because that's why it's spelled Magearna. So I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, Magearna. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself later. But right now, without actually hearing the actual name, I'm going to call it Magearna. In the upcoming Volcanion movie, I was thinking about it earlier today because I saw a picture that someone made about a day or two ago, I want to say, that makes a lot of sense when I think about it. And the picture is, it has Volcanion standing with Magearna above it, and you realize that the back of Volcanion, uh, aside from the two water spout hoses that it's on his back, is at an angle up like this. And Magearna, her dress type thing that she's got going on her lower half, it is a half dome that's pointed up like this at the bottom. And pretty much the whole gist of it is Magearna is on top of Volcanion and fits perfectly on that dome point type thing on its back. And that's why its legs are so thin, and that's why the underside of its dress is hollow. So it can pretty much latch on top of it, and the little dome Pokeball thing in the middle, the Volcanion, we all know it's hose water spout thing that, I don't know what it's called, that's just why I call it the hose water spout thing. It detaches at the center point. So while Magearna is fastened on top of it, the spouts latch onto the Pokeball on its center. So I noticed that, and that got me to thinking, well, Magearna is clearly a 500-year-old creation from this kingdom, whose name I can't remember. I believe it's the Azoth Kingdom, they said in the description of the movie, but I don't know if that's the one that created her or the one that's going after her. I'm assuming it's a her. It's very feminine. But I looked up Volcanion, its dex entries, and its role in the movie, and it is not, as far as we're aware, I am flubbing every word. As far as we are aware, it is not a man-made creation. So it won't fit in that description of man-made Pokemon like Magearna, Mewtwo, Genesect, the Kling Clang line, all of them. It's an actual born and raised Pokemon. So, what I'm thinking here is, there's clearly some sort of link between Magearna and Volcanion more than they are saying aloud. So, with that image in mind of Volcanion's top half fitting perfectly on Magearna's bottom half dress, and it linking onto that Pokeball, my first thought was, clearly this is going to be some sort of combination, kind of like, I didn't want to think of it along the lines of the DNA splicer with Zekrom and Reshiram. It could be something like that, but I don't think it is really, because I don't think it's going to be like, oh, we're going to combine this Pokemon with this Pokemon, and it'll be another variation of Black Zekrom or White Zekrom. I mean, not Zekrom. Fuck. Kyurem. Yeah, it won't be like fusing one of them with Kyurem. I'm assuming it's going to be something along the lines of... Actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of the only way they can do it, like a fusion between the two. But I really don't think that's what it's gonna be, because it just seems like it'd be like a union instead of a combination. So, thinking along those lines, they said that Ash and Volcanion are going to be fused together somehow and are unable to separate. So my first thought is, what if the thing that's holding them together is the actual item that fuses, or at least holds together, Volcanion and Magearna? Kind of like the DNA splicer does with Zekrom, Reshiram, and Kyurem. But then I saw just a few moments ago on Cerebi, they were talking more in depth about the plot of the movie and how Ash and Volcanion are linked by a chain that they can't separate. And apparently Magearna has this thing called the Soul Heart. So I'm assuming that if a union will take place between the two, it will be having to do with the Soul Heart. Because apparently that's like this big energy thing. So the chain, I really don't have any idea what all that's about. That may just be something they add into the movie, saying, oh yes, this is the way we're going to have Ash and his group have to go along with all of this. And we're just going to have him and Volcanion pretty much shackled together throughout the entirety of the movie. But I don't know if it'll actually be like something you can do in-game once Magearna is released. Because I'm assuming it's going to be specifically for either Pokemon Z or... I don't want to say Gen 7 because this pretty much seems more like Gen 6. But while I'm thinking about that, we know that hackers, or a hacker, was the one that revealed the 3 other legendaries for Gen 6. But Magearna came completely out of nowhere. So my guess is it was coded into the next Pokemon game we're going to get, but not the ones we already have. So it might just be one exclusive to that game or games, or it could be something that is for the next generation. I highly doubt it, but it's possible. I mean, there is no Dex entry number for it yet. So it's really up in the air whether it's going to be a part of Gen 6 or the beginning of Gen 7. I'm really saying it's Gen 6 just because it would fit a lot better as far as I'm aware. But I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong about this, them having some sort of union thing in the movie. I highly doubt it will be something you can do in-game, because I really don't think it's going to be like an actual fuse type thing where they went fusion, ha, and then now they're one being. So I just think it's something that's going to be movie and or anime related, but I don't know if it'll be able to be done in-game. Maybe it's like they have, maybe this is the beginning of combination attacks where when both of them are in your party, maybe their attacks are stronger. I mean, I don't really know. All I know is that there's a possibility that there is a union between Magearna and Volcanion. I just don't know what yet. Aesthetically, it looks as though Magearna would be on top of Volcanion and hooked to it via the hoses on its back, and it form like some sort of energy source, because it is confirmed that Magearna is like this source of great energy. So it might have something to do with that. But that's really all I got for it. It's just a theory that I wanted to put out there. I have no idea if it's actually true or not. I'm just basing this off of something I noticed. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about this. And hopefully we get some more information later on soon. That way we can put all this speculation to rest. So this is the Mad King Paradox S signing off, and I will see you later.